How's it going, everybody? Just doing a soft-spoken ramble here today. No gum. I'm tapping on a couple of things here. Little disc rattle. I'll probably briefly just go over my bracket real quick. Nothing crazy. I'll do the kind of Xing out, circling the winners and losers in another vid, but I'll probably just briefly talk about it. I do have the mic in front of me again. It's been a while. I figured I'd throw it in front of me and throw it on the whatever that setting is. I forget what it's called. Just gotta get in there and try it this way again. It's been a while, so and just ramble about other basic stuff. I saw I'm filming this for Friday. I'm not sure if it's going up Friday or not, but Chuck Norris died. I saw earlier this morning. That's sad. He was 86. He's really known for, he was in a bunch of like action movies, I believe, in the 80s. I've probably seen a bunch of them. He's in Walker, Texas Ranger a while. He's been in a bunch of other stuff too. I have not really paid attention to him. And he was also the, Chuck Norris, something fierce Chuck Norris type thing. When that was going around for a bit. How many years ago was that now? I can't even remember, but... yeah, the brackets, let's see. Let me call up ESPN so I could remember who's done what. Duke. I thought Duke was going to get a beat yesterday. They were losing with like 6, 7 minutes left in the game, but they ended up winning. North Carolina did lose, which sucks. I had them going... how far did I have them going? I had them beating Illinois, getting to the Sweet 16, so that hurts. I did end up doing 2 women's brackets as well, like right before 11:30 today, Friday. I just filled this out. I know nothing. I know nothing about men's. I know less than nothing about the women's stuff. I just don't know anything about... I know by the rankings who's good. Like UConn in women's is perfect record this year, so it's like, well, of course. And South Carolina is good again in there as well. So a lot of I feel like there's less upsets in women's than men's. All right, let's look at the bracket here for the men's real quick. Like I said, I'll do another video, a top-down video, probably after the first round's fully over to start, and then I might do another one. And I don't know if I'm going to do them for every round or not. Duke did end up winning by 6 over Siena. TCU won. I was right on that. St. John's and Kansas. Those games were today. Louisville won. I had South Florida winning there, but I didn't have them going past that next game, so hopefully that doesn't crush me too much. Michigan State won. I had them. A couple more games that have to be played today. McNeese lost. They were doing well there. It was close with like 6, 7 minutes left, but Vanderbilt pulled away. But my other upset pick did win. Nebraska I have here winning. North Carolina lost, like I said, to VCU. Illinois destroyed Penn. I had them. St. Mary's lost. I picked them. Texas A&M and Houston won. I picked them as well. Oh yeah, for the start-in games here, I forgot about the start-in games. Texas did beat NC State. Who are the other ones? Let me look real quick so I can find them. I don't know if it's gonna have them down at the bottom. West. So I got 2 in the Midwest. I'll get to that in a minute. West. I know NC State lost, and I had them winning their first round game, but not past that. The South, Lehigh, and PV. PV, Prairie View, they won, so I was wrong on that. I was wrong on 3 of those, I think. Miami of Ohio won, I know that. Anyway, on to the other side of this thing. The West. Arizona, Long Island has not played. High Point ended up winning by a point over Wisconsin, so that pick worked. I have them losing the next round to Arkansas, who also won. See, Texas beat BYU, and I had NC State beating BYU, but they couldn't get past Texas, so at least I was kind of right on that one. Whoever was going to win that, I thought was going to beat the 6th seed BYU. Gonzaga won. I have them. Who was the... 2 in the Midwest. list. Michigan won, picked them. St. Louis wins. I did pick St. Louis. Nice. Okay. They actually beat up on Georgia. There's a bunch of games today still. It looks like there's a bunch of games today. So Miami, Ohio, I picked. Who was the other one? Howard beat UMBC in that first four. So I was wrong on 3 of the 4 of those, but I didn't have those teams doing anything outside of winning, NC State winning one. I actually had Miami of Ohio beating Tennessee, so we'll see what happens there on that one. But like I said, I will do, once the first round's over, I'll do a proper kind of thing on it. Kingdom Hearts that I got at a garage sale, I pulled out of a bin and tried to sell soon. Kingdom Hearts doesn't have a lot of value. It used to have more. I remember to bring some water this time. Because I don't have the gum. Well, if this goes up later today, it depends on how the Game Boy video is doing. I don't know for sure. I'll most likely put it up tomorrow, but I might not. If I'm feeling frisky, although the Spectrum internet has been shit in the bed the last 2 days, the uploads have been brutal. And they were good for a while. Like, it randomly for a day, 2, 3 days, all of a sudden is shit in the bed, like, most of the day outside of, like, later at night. And they'll be like, oh, it could be busy, everybody's using uploading stuff, and it's busy, the servers are busy, or whatever. No, dude, stop, bro. It's all day now. And normally it isn't like that. I think they just, from time to time, shit the bed. Now, I don't know if they're doing that on purpose, trying to, like, kind of force people to be like, oh, I need to upgrade to a better speed. But I'll wait. Like, I'll be like, fuck it. Like, at yesterday's video was like 5 hours, and it picked up its pace around 8 at night. So, like, the last, like, 40% of that video took, like, less than an hour, but the first 60% took, like, 4.5. Got a driver 2 here on the PlayStation. I got those at a garage sale, but I only had one of the discs. I do have the greatest hits version that has both discs. But yeah, I was like, all right. We are, like I said, if I put it up today, later today, this video, then you'll see it. We're going to the Paranormal Circus, tonight in Greensboro. That should be interesting. I always get the dread before these things. Like, that's just how I've always been, and I always will be. And I've been like this for pretty much my whole existence. Like, back in the day, I used to, bail on concerts a lot. Like, wasting money. Like, I would just give the tickets away to other friends. I wouldn't even just be like, oh, buy this from me. I'd just be like, take the thing. Unless it was like really far in advance. Then I might be like, oh, does anybody want to buy this? But I'd still end up just giving it to somebody because you don't want to see it go to waste. And back then, the tickets weren't overly pricey, but like there was like maybe 3 or 4 shows back then. The Chili Peppers in the Garden, I ended up bailing on just because I was like mentally, I'm like, I can't do it. That's when I was really starting to get my panic attacks. They first started up. We're talking like senior year of high school into like 19, 20 years old, that kind of range. There was that one I remember bailing on. I ended up seeing them at Jones Beach with the Stone Temple Pilots in 2000. It was 2000 or 2001. They opened STP because they were just bouncing back. I think what's-his-name came back to the band. Or did he leave? I forget if Weiland left at that point after the third album, but it was on the number 4 tour, and they played 10 tunes. They were great. Chili Peppers were great. I'm a fan of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't like everything they do, but I mean, I'm not going to deny the talent. But I do like a good amount of their stuff, not everything. STP I'm a big fan of, although later on not that I didn't like the albums after number 4. They had the Shangri-La-Di-Da, right? And did they end up making one other one with Weiland later on? I don't know. They made another, did they not do an album with, oh no, that was the other band. Do they have a new singer now? Obviously because Weiland passed. When did he pass? I don't even know how long ago that was. But they did an album with, I want to say it was Richard Patrick. Was it the guy from Filter they did an album with? It was the band, the rest of the band of STP with him, but I can't remember the name of the band. Was it like Army of Anyone or something like that? They weren't that bad though. I remember hearing a lot of that album. It's pretty good because those guys have talent. It's not just the singer, I mean, Weiland's gonna bring the unique vocals and stuff and shit, but if the band's got the talent, they're gonna do it. I mean, case in point, someone like Maiden. the first two Iron Maiden albums without Bruce Dickinson are incredible albums, especially Killers is one of their best. The two with the guy, was the guy's Blaze Bayley, that other guy they had in the 90s when Bruce left briefly for 2 albums. Those albums were okay. They weren't as good, admittedly. The first two were great, especially Killers. Iron Maiden's also really good. And then he came back for Brave New World. Who else did I bail on? I'm like thinking of these concerts I didn't end up going to. There was a time or two later on where I just legitimately didn't feel good. But the Chili Peppers at the Garden, I do remember specifically. There was another one, I think, at Roseland I passed up on. I ended up not going to. I can't remember what it was. I talked about Petty when I had the panic attack halfway through. I ended up seeing him full at Jones Beach as well. I saw a lot of concerts at Jones Beach over the years. My first concert was at Jones Beach, Van Halen in 95. I think I had just finished 10th grade. It was the summer of 95, so yeah, I would have just finished 10th grade. And that was a really good show. I'm not, I like Van Halen well enough. I don't like everything by them, but once again, the talent, regardless if it was Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth. And they had that other guy write for one album. I can't remember his name. But that was a good show for a first show to see. Who else did I see? I'm just going to kind of ramble about concerts and stuff. Oh, somebody mentioned rankings too. I should have grabbed some games. Somebody's talking about doing ranking stuff. I can briefly rank some things in my mind. Maybe I'll save that for another video. My next ramble, I'll throw some rankings in. Or maybe I'll just do a standalone ranking video, actually. I think I've done a few in the past, obviously. I've done it with a couple of different consoles. Maybe I'll do it with... I'm trying to think of a console I haven't done it with. Maybe... I feel like I've done Nintendo 64. I don't know. I'll have to look on my playlist. Yeah, maybe I'll save that for another video, because I don't have the games here and stuff. It's just not going to be as good. What else? I saw Roger Waters at the beach, Page and Plant. Those are both great. Who else? Soul Asylum. My friend at the time had worked at the beach, and he was able to get free tickets. And I like a couple Soul Asylum songs, and me and him and another friend went briefly and stayed for like 5 tunes and left. I was hoping to hear, I think it's Somebody to Shove is the one song I really like by them. I need somebody to shove me. It's a good tune. 311 I saw at the beach. That was really a good show. I wasn't super into 311 at the time. It was only on their, maybe their third album. Or third or fourth. I don't know if they had the self-titled or whatever it was called. With that had all mixed up on it and Down, and there's other good stuff on there, like better songs like Hive and was it the TNP combo, and other stuff on there as well. But they have at least one album before that, but I think they might have 2 albums before that one. I can't remember the names. Maybe Grassroots is one of them. This was on the Transistor tour, I believe, and it was I think that was the name of the album, right? And I was into him, and I liked him. It was a good show, but I wasn't super into him. I got more into them further on. So it would have been kind of cool to see them after a couple more albums. That's true. That was still really good. Who else? Who else have I seen at the beach? There's been other bands. I just cannot remember. I do have most of my concert tickets still, though. Seen some shows at the Garden and the Nassau Coliseum, the Eagles at the Coliseum, the Garden, Aerosmith, Maiden. That was the cat just letting out a sigh or something. She's sleeping over on the couch. Did I see anybody else at the Garden? Saw a bunch of bands in Roseland. Was Roseland when we saw that Metallica show? I think it was Roseland in the city, New York City. it was they played just covers. It was when they released Garage Inc. in the late '90s, and they toured. They only went to like 5 places. I think Philadelphia, New York. Maybe it was even Detroit. Might have gotten. There was like 4 or 5 shows, I believe, maybe less. We had. I remember it was 5 of us online. Out of the first 6, it was 5. Me and 4 other friends online. You only get 2 tickets apiece. And we're like, this is going to be like a battle for the other friends. That like we ended up, it ended up not being a problem. Everybody who wanted to go was able to go. There was 10 of us, but we were 5 of the first 6. And my one friend who was number 6 online was the last one to get tickets. They were sold out that quickly. And we were there. That was back when you had it. If you remember this, like a Tower Records or the Wiz, right? The Wiz was the other. You'd have to wait online outside. They'd sell the tickets. You'd wait online for like 4 or 5 hours before it even went on sale, and you had to book it too, man. If you were putting around when you got up there, it was a problem. That was just standing only though, so it didn't matter. You didn't have to like get a seat or anything. And they just played cover tunes. It was a fantastic show, and the band that opened just covered Metallica, which was cool. And they did good too, good covers. The last concert I went to was the Lindsey Sterling we went to, and then we went to the Lindsey Sterling Apocalyptica and Hailstorm. I talked about that in the video. That was back in September. We left from Hailstorm after like 4. I mean, I like a couple of their tunes, but Apocalyptica sounded great. They were first. Lindsey Sterling was excellent, and they just... Like, the vocals sounded terrible. They were, like, too loud. It was drowning out the other stuff. And we were super close. This was a tiny place. I forget. It was a place in Salem, Virginia. Salem Civic Center. Not a big place to begin with. And we were close. We were, like, the stage was here. Well, the stage was this way. And we were, like, literally right here on the side. And they were just too loud. And I'm like, I don't like this band that much. I only know a few of their tunes and like a few of their tunes. And I was like, the music sounded fine, but the vocals were like drowning out. It was like, nah, man. I'm like, no. It just was not, I don't know, their levels were off or something. Because the other bands were fine. They were loud too, but it sounded normal. Although Apocalyptica doesn't have lyrics. And Lindsey Sterling had some, and it was fine when she sang. So I don't know what that was, but whatever. I was like, all right, before it tunes in, I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, she was like ready to leave already. I could tell. I looked over and she's like, yeah, she's not feeling it. Let's get out of here. But she wanted to see Lindsey Sterling. I was excited about Apocalyptica, and Lindsey Sterling was really good too. And we ended up seeing her on our Christmas tour in November. That was, I believe. So, and before that, the last one before leaving to come down here was the not Tools. It was Maynard's like 60th birthday. Was it his 60th? That was back in 24. It was Pussifer, Perfect Circle, and Primus. That was a great show. They like rotated. It was like I think it started with Pussifer, then went to Perfect Circle, Primus, and they would rotate, and then they played some stuff together as well. It's good. That was a good show. That was at Foxwoods. I would have talked about that as well. In Connecticut. What else? What do I ramble about now? Ramble about something. Watched the first episode of the Young Sherlock on Amazon. It's really good. I like that time period. I like the way people dressed over in England in that time period. And the feel of it's nice. They're introducing all the characters obviously Sherlock Holmes, his brother, Mycroft, Moriarty, is that how you say it? Is there? But he's like he's obviously just like at the beginning he's like in jail briefly. He's kind of been stealing and doing stuff. He just does it for the thrill, and then he gives back he like immediately gives back the wallet or whatever he stole. Make it seem like they dropped it, but he got caught one time, goes to prison for a little bit. His brother gets him out because his brother works for the government, right? He's like a high up, I think, and then he has him get a job. He thinks he's going to Oxford to learn, but he's like going to be a porter or whatever, a scout they called him, and then stuff goes from there. He's gotten framed now. At the end of the first episode, he gets framed for something throughout in the first episode. I think it's framed for a worse thing, at the end, and then yeah, it's gonna go from there. So I do want to watch more of that. That was solid. It's by Guy Ritchie. It has that feel of his stuff. What else? I haven't really watched it. What was the last movie we watched? Did we watch? I feel like we watched a movie. Fuck. We watched something the other night. I cannot remember what it was. I'm trying to think if I enjoyed it or not. What the hell was it? She was watching. I remember she was watching some of that Regretting You. And I sat down for like the last half hour. That had McKenna Grace and not James, Dave Franco, and was it Allison Williams? She is not, I don't know, she's not the greatest of actresses, in my opinion. She's not awful or anything, but like, it's just, I don't know. I don't buy her in the movie she's in. I don't know. Brian Williams' daughter, right? What else? What was, I swear we watched a movie. What was it? Like, most likely would have been a horror type movie, but I cannot remember what it would have been. Where that came from. That's what I was saying before. I completely went off. The paranormal thing, Cirque thing I was talking about. I led into it, the concerts and stuff, but like, I always dread this kind of stuff, man. And apparently they like grab people from the crowd. I'm like, they better not do that to me. I will lose it. Like, I will not be in a good place. I was in I think I mentioned this back when I was young. It was at MGM Studios, I believe, in Florida. My cousin and I got picked to ride the Bee from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So this would have been, when did that come out? Like 89, maybe? I'm trying to think. I was either in 4th or 5th grade, I think, when this happened. And he would have been a year or two younger. So it might have been 5th. I don't know. But I like had to reach him. He was on one side. I had to like reach out for him. That I didn't care because I was young and my head wasn't, where it ended up. And now it's just like, no, man, I am not. There's people that love getting picked. I just do not. I want to enjoy what's happening, and not have to worry about other stuff. But I'll on this in a few minutes. Maybe I'll push 5 minutes at 23, maybe 5 minutes. Still, I played freaking Fatal Frame 2 remake a little bit, and then haven't played it since. Man, video games is just, I don't even care, man. Like, I don't even know when I'll get a Resident Evil 9. And I know I'll enjoy it when I get it, but I'm not, like, chomping at the bit to pick it up. I just don't care. Like, games are not doing it for me right now, like, especially the newer stuff. Like, I'm more interested in throwing in a game and playing it for a half an hour, But I was like, yeah, great. That one I'd forgotten. I had pre-ordered it, and then I was like, because it was like back in November. But I'm happy to have that though, just to have it, just in case all of a sudden it's more money a year down the line. It's nice to just have a copy of that game because I will get around to playing it. But I do not know what that movie was we watched. Unless it wasn't, we just watched the Sherlock Holmes, but I thought we watched a movie recently. I just can't remember what it was. I cannot remember what it was. Maybe it was, I don't know. And hopefully the women's bracket does better. If Duke would have lost, I think a lot of people would have been screwed. I had them going all the way to the final game. But the problem is you're already like, uh-oh, they look shaky in that first game. It's going to be a problem moving forward. They got TCU next, so let's see what happens in that one. Because it's going to be, sometimes you can tell, like right out of the gate, they survived that first game. And then you're like, shit, they're going to lose here by like the Sweet 16, something ain't right type of thing, you know. I was happy to get the High Point win at least. McNeese did not work, but High Point did. Got one of those two. Those are the bigger ones that I had. It's nice to see High Point win. I didn't have them get past Arkansas, though, so hopefully Arkansas wins. I had Arkansas going pretty far, I believe. Actually, I have Arkansas going to the Final Four, so... If they lose, they're screwed. If they lose, my bracket's completely destroyed. Virginia does. I have Virginia winning it. And then I have Houston and Duke in the Final Four as well. So, what do I have? A 1, 2, a 4, and a 3. It's not that outrageous. In the men's NCAA, you could have like a 7 and 8 pop in there. I feel like sometimes like an 11 gets in there occasionally. I feel like the better teams in women typically are consistently having deep runs, if not winning it. I feel like, good teams obviously win it in men's as well, the really good teams, but I feel like you're more right. You'll see like a 3 win it, a 4 win it and stuff. I don't know, I could be wrong though. But anyway, just some tapping here as well, some disc rattling. Soft-spoken ramble. No gum today, so hey, you like it, this video, give it a like. If you're into the soft-spoken without gum vids, let me know. Like I said in the past, I would do more non-gum videos if they... I almost said gun. I'm going to chew on guns. My next video, that's how powerful my teeth are. Just start eating guns like that guy that ate the Cessna plane for the Guinness Book of World Records. I would do more non-gum related stuff if it viewed better, but again, like I said, man, it's a point where, you want to keep my views a certain length, even just doing like, what did I do yesterday? The page turning with the manuals, it viewed all right its first day, but not on, it was like number 9 out of my last 10 videos. There goes the generator for its weekly test. It's a good way to end it, I guess, because you're going to hear that probably. Although maybe not because I don't have the full surround on. I'd put it to the straight ahead one since I had the mic in front of my face for the first time in a while. But we'll see how, this one does, this video. And, like I said, if you like this, let me know, because the better reviews, the more likely I'll be to do more. I have no problem not chewing gum, but I know you guys, an overwhelming majority like it, and the views reflect in that, so I gotta do what's best for my channel, right? But anyway, let me get a little... But yeah, just a soft-spoken ramble here today. I mean, I guess let me go. I don't know how bad that sound is in the background. It's not like a terrible sound. It's kind of just like... It might not be bad because it's front. Let me go a half hour. We'll turn this into a half hour soft-spoken ramble since I'm at 28 minutes, 45 seconds now. That thing does its weekly test for 5 minutes. And since the clocks went forward, it's now just doing it at 12. It usually does it at 11. I don't care. When we first got here, the people who lived here before had it set to, I think, 10 and 11. And when it went backwards, it was going to 9. No, I'm sorry, they had it set for 10. When it would go forward, it would go to 11. But when it went back, it would go to 9. No, wait. Yes, that's it, right? Or something. Or maybe it was set to 9, and it went... I forget. But it was way too early. We gotta change that, man. Even though it's only 5 minutes, I mean... Once the summer comes along, everybody's mowing their lawns. They have landscapers on, so you're hearing noises for a lot longer than 5 minutes. But I'm always weird with sound. Like, I don't want to, like... we don't make a lot of sound at all, actually, to be honest with you. We're very quiet. We don't, like, do crazy things that are loud as shit constantly, but I've always was like that. And I think that was from living on Long Island. You're just more like there's a lot of noises, and neighbors were much closer. You're like, I mean, the house behind us is close. um, it's right there, but we have the one across the street, and then the rest are down. It's just really those two houses in the direct vicinity. But anyway, half hour soft spoken ramble, some tapping, some disc rattling, and thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.